everybody. Welcome to another episode of 10 Forward Weekly. My name is Mike Fadum. I am also known as Ambassador Kel, and I am your community manager. And it's time for another chill Q&A, where everybody's chill and ask questions, and I answer the ones that I can. It's a theme song. I hope you like it. Let's start with the question that everybody is going to ask. I addressed this on Twitter already, but just to jump in here, um, there's been a lot of hullabaloo about some nerfs that have happened to different things lately. Some of those were intentional nerfs, some of those were not. The stacking infiltrator issue. Basically, what happened is that was a very old bug. It was never meant to stack. And that old bug got brought back up when we were testing stuff for the bridge officer upgrades. So Jonathan said, "Oh, old bug, I'll fix it," and fixed it. We didn't. It just didn't really occur to anybody, myself included, how much it would nerf that particular ability. So we talked about it, and that's probably going to get undone. I don't have full confirmation that it's getting undone yet, but it seems like it'll go back to stacking. Agony Redistributor got hit with a very large nerf bat because it was ridiculously powerful, and I think everybody knows that. It was just super overdone. Was the nerf bat that it got hit with too big? Is the question that's being asked internally right now, and the designers are going to look at the data. They have looked at the data as you guys play and see what comes in with its performance. The other two, which was the Eddie's thing, and there's another one that Tholian Web. The designers seem pretty satisfied with how those nerfs are performing, and how those things are performing in their lane right now. One thing that Jeremy always mentions on this stream that I think is a good thing to think about when we're talking about this stuff is how the reason they strive for balance is so that people feel like they have a choice when they're playing the game. If there is one thing that is so good that you feel like you can't build a ship without putting it on there, then that's not great game design. So that's kind of the philosophy that changes like these come from, whether it's nerfing stuff or buffing stuff. We are everything's a process and going back and forth on different things. So be patient with us. The other half of that equation, of course, that many of you have brought up is that some people went out and spent actual money on these things because they were so powerful in the first place. And we do have to figure out the balance there. We have to figure out we want people to feel like they got their money's worth on the stuff they bought, but we also don't want there to be one item in the game that's just so much far and away powerful than anything else. So it's an ongoing conversation. We were talking about it in Leeds meeting this morning. I talked to Jonathan and Jeremy from our systems team about it this afternoon, and it's it's an ongoing discussion. I don't know that we're going to have perfect answers for you right here tonight. Definitely not tonight. But that's where things stand with that right now. The thing that I have control over that sucked about this is that none of these changes were talked about until they were in the patch notes, and I didn't know about them until they were in the patch notes. There's no reason why a system designer should come up to me every time they consider making a change and say, "Hey, you should know about this." They have jobs to do, and I have jobs to do, but I do want to get a heads up when something like that is going to happen, and so I'm working on adding my own systems for me. I've gotten a producer to give me access to this thing called the Builds Manager. Anyway, it gives me early access to what changes designers are making, so I can see what people are doing, and so hopefully, if something's coming down the line that I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I can at least either talk to the designer or get the designer on a stream to chat about their philosophy and the reason they're making those changes before it goes out to the public and catches you all by surprise. So that's where we're at. All right. Interestingly, none of the questions were none of the questions I see were about that, so that's great. Very cool. Hello, everybody. y'all are wonderful and very nice. And yes, please, there's a clip function on Twitch. You can clip everything I just said. Clip it and send it to your friends. Okay. So, stuff like Spicy Ball Meat is asking about will we get an update to the Dauntless and the new Dauntless from Prodigy? Some other people are saying any up is up. Some other people were asking about it on Facebook. We're asking about a specific ship, which was the T6 Legendary Intel Bortescu class Juggernaut Battlecruiser. This is just actually this whole comment is just a design. That's very nice. Good job, Mark Wheaton. But the remember asking about stuff like that on the stream. Generally, I can't answer. If we are working on a specific ship that you want, I can't tell you until we've announced it because things might change, and I don't want to have accidentally promised something that isn't coming right away or may not come at all if we decide we can't do it for some reason. And if I'm not working on it, I also can't tell you because then it gets turned into, well, they're not working on this. They don't care about X. So keep in mind, you can ask those kinds of questions. Keep in mind they're most likely not getting answered. Um, did I announce the whale probe? I did announce the whale probe already. You're right. The whale probe exists, and you can only get it if you're not fragrance-free Vaseline. We've actually put a bug on Fragrance Free's computer, and the whale probe is going to be free to everyone else, but he can't have it. There is no whale probe, just in case some of you are new to that joke. The whale probe is not coming. Hey, Loot Critter. Welcome back. Thanks again for the fun charity stream last week. That was really great. I really enjoyed it. It's fun to just hang out with you guys and get to do fun things. Ryan Fraley, PvP, as always, is not a huge focus for us because a very small amount of players play PvP. I know that that's a snake eating its own tail. We don't support PvP, so people don't play PvP, so we don't support PvP. It just goes on and on. But I know the designers are trying to think more about PvP while they make adjustments for PvE as well. And I think you've seen some of that in the patch notes. Sphinx, I'm glad that you were able to get through the invisible walls finally. The invisible walls, I think I can tell you this. We figured out finally what it was, and it's crazy. It was the ship. It was the Emperor's ship. You notice how it's on that map hanging off in the distance? There was a bug that was causing the ship to fall, as I understand it, and this might be wrong, fall through the map, but then it would be the collision from the ship would be slightly sticking up in certain places. Wild. Absolutely wild. Never would have expected that to be it. Anyway, it's fixed now. Hopefully, that's it. Now that the Emperor is out of the bag, any chance you can say who the alternate was? The Emperor was always Wesley Crusher. That was the initial pitch. We had a couple of backup choices in case Will Wheaton didn't want to or couldn't do it. And I believe those were who was it? I think Emperor Harry Kim was discussed as a backup. I'm not sure who else. Why didn't the Emperor have his ship rain down phaser fire instead of having us go on ground? Because the Emperor wanted to walk to the other personally. Because he's an arrogant dick. And why didn't the Emperor fight on the ground? See previous, arrogant dick. Alright. Let's see. Oh, God, no. I've accidentally hidden all my chat windows. No, that's the only reason I'm here! What can I do about gold seller sites? Aridani for 40D says. If you see a gold seller, report them to support, and they will try and track them down and squash them. Obviously, those guys make bundles and miles and thousands of alts, so it's hard to completely squash them forever, but we can squash some of them. Emperor Barclay would have been fun. That actor is kind of uh, not really worth touching right now. And you guys asked for fan art, and that reminded me I forgot to put fan art in the stream. So let me just do that real quick. I'm gonna go to studio mode so I can do this without. Yay, that worked. Okay. So let me I'm gonna quickly make all your pictures the right size so we can go through. Transform, fit to screen. Form, fit to screen. Okay, that already is fit to screen. Transform, fit to screen. Oh, transform, fit to screen. Transform, a fit to screen. And transform, a fit to screen. All right, let's see if I hit studio mode. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so first up, we've got this awesome shot of a full spread of torpedoes from Stuart Andrews. Very cool. Jeff W. sent us this great shot of his Galaxy class. ID Gaming Fed sent us this, which I love. He scratched out part of the Conqueror name on the other, just like V'ger was, Voyager with everything crossed out, so that we could call the other Connor. Or as he called it, Connor McSpace Cloud of the Clan McSpace Cloud. Hunter Bahamut sent us this awesome shot of his ship hanging out. Duncan sent us a really cool picture of Adventures in Space with his tardigrade. Christopher B. Monday sent us this awesome shot of the Kelvin Enterprise. Captain Wallace FX sent us a new shot of his ray tracing filter that he's managed to make work on the game. It doesn't work in motion apparently, but it takes great pictures. And Trexpert sent us this awesome shot. I think also of the this isn't the Kelvin Connie. This is alternate original Connie, maybe motion picture with different nacelles. Oh, people are saying that was the TBMP Enterprise, not the Kelvin Enterprise. Sorry, my bad. John Davis 01, rough update on what's happening with the old episodes. I made a very passionate case in the Leeds meeting a couple weeks ago for would we, could we please bring those back? There was a question that was posed of would players play a new season that was remasters of old episodes instead of new content. It seemed like you guys responded pretty positively to that idea, so I passed that on. So I think that's where discussions are right now, is can we take the time to just make these remasters the focus of a season? Tech 9587 or 2957. I believe what happened is with the captain's table. Some of you have seen this. There's a lot of weird things that are happening on the captain's table right now. The captain's table was very broken. Before this, it was very broken, but it was very broken in a way that was really only internally facing. And somebody fixed that, and in fixing it, somehow it made it really broke externally facing. So all of these things that our designer did to make everything more efficient and make the NPCs appearing correct and with the correct names somehow caused the whole thing to explode. So we're looking into it. Folks, the TNG event y'all are always asking me about bringing back, the one that has the rewards for the Worf rewards. Is it just Worf's sash, Worf's mustache and hair, and the title The Next Generation, or was there something else? Um, Enclave 216, you asked so nicely that I'm going to answer this, even though the answer is really no answer. I don't think we have any plans for any new Voth ships at this time, but maybe someday. Okay, people are saying it's just that. Apparently the event is broken, so I'm talking to Jared right now about trying to find another way to do it. Any chance the new Picard Titan will get swapping parts with any of the constitutions when we eventually add it? Maybe. Um, I think it depends on scale. So if it's the same scale as other Constitution models that we have, like the same size, then maybe that might happen. But we're not working on that ship actively right now. We saw it for the first time in the trailer with the rest of you. So our Duncan Scant and Type 7 shuttle, is that something that was originally part of the event? I don't think so. No, that was those were C-store purchases originally, right? Um, Oliver Roger, clothing is getting looked at by the character artists piece by piece, uh, here and there. So things will get updated, but I don't think there'll ever be a here's a sweeping moment where we update all the clothes in the game kind of thing. What was the thinking for revamping Tour the Galaxy with new locales? I mentioned this on the forums. The um, blah blah. I mentioned this on the forums. Basically, I can't tell you what the opportunity was. We had an opportunity though uh, to match. Like we were asked by CBS, "Hey, do you have anything that matches with this thing that happens in an upcoming episode of a show?" I have to be so vague with this, so that we can use to tie in. And the thing that was happening in a show uh, was worked would have worked well with Tour of the Galaxy, and so work was started on transforming Tour the Galaxy to tie in with that thing that was happening on a show. But uh, for a multitude of reasons, all of them business related, and things just happen sometimes. At the last second, we were asked not to do that, and but then the changes had already been made, so we had to take them out, and we couldn't let it go live with the changes because then people would see the changes and wonder what the heck was going on. So we had to pull it out and um, put back the original stuff. But because Jesse had gone through and added extra destinations, we left that in. So keep Make Toward the Galaxy more updated. Valkorion, weekly patches are going to come on either Tuesday or Thursday, depending on what's most needed. This week, I believe it was on Tuesday because we really wanted to get the fix for the invisible walls out the door. Solid Zero. If you want a good tutorial on demo record, there is a couple of places you can go for that. There's a stream we did here on 10 Forward Weekly. It should be on our YouTube channel still, where we went through with some really good demo record creators. There's also uh, I think ZEF Films has done a really good one, a really good set of tutorials. So you know. Uh, Arcane Flame Pony, you're the second person on two different chats to ask me about a new Voth ship, which is interesting. There's no new Voth plans at the time. How do we decide what items are in third-party giveaways? So what happens with that is Gearbox San Francisco, our publisher, sets up those giveaways, and then reaches out to us and says, "Hey, what kind of item can you give away to this many people?" And that changes what item we put in. So if it's like, hey, we want to do a giveaway to 5 people, it might be a ship. If we want to do a giveaway to like 2,000 people, it'll probably be like an XP pack and a item that's kind of cool, or something like that. Any new changes coming to Xbox at all? Yes, constantly, all the time. Will we see any more time travel stories? I can't imagine we won't. You look into the 30%. Okay, Genghis Prawn. This this is looks like this is one of those bugs that you should report on the forums, because with all the chat coming in so fast, I don't have time to take notes on this, and it seems like you need to. It seems like something you need to get all the details on. So if you could post that on the forums, that would be great. Any news if STO is going to be its own universe like Kelvin? Talks are ongoing on that. We'll see. Oh man, as Lendor, that would actually be a fun mission. Like going to the future and like you have a certain amount of time until the burn. You know the burn is coming, you know when it's going to happen, and you have to find a way to get back to your time before all your dilithium explodes. Trexpert related to the giveaways, how do the Emerald and Cobalt one-shots work for consoles? Same way. Um, Depends on how many we're giving away. Usually for console, it's to everybody. And so they ask us, hey, is there something exclusive we can make? And we usually say, yes, we can give them this item, but a different color so that it is exclusive. The Mirror Vidra was made by the Terrans, so if the other wants to destroy his creator, would he attack Terra Earth? I don't know. We don't know a lot about the other's motivations because the Emperor drew the other out and then took control of him. It? Them? Um, so that's a thing. Seen a couple people ask about new reputations. I haven't heard of any plans for a new reputation anytime soon. Um, Klaus Elberg, Star Trek Elite Force is a different company. While we may have options to the ships made for those, I don't know about the characters made for those games, so I doubt we'll be finishing the story of Ensign Manro. Rob O'Brien, I talked about the older missions earlier. There is a good chance they'll be coming back, but I don't have a timetable for you on that. What was the inspiration for the others' drones, aesthetically speaking? I don't know. I would have to ask their designers, which I believe were the character artists. But next time we have them on, you can ask. All right. Well, questions are still coming in fast and furious, but I think we should play some stuff. I think it would be fun to be playing and answering. So let's pop into a random queue and see how we do. With a crew. It's brand new. To get through. Lord Christos, Discovery Andorians are being worked on, but I don't have a timetable. Jennifer Mason, over on YouTube chat. I have a challenge for you specifically, since all of your questions have been about how you hate things that we're doing. I want you to post something you like about Star Trek Online. Because I can't answer any of your other questions. They're all, some variation of when will you stop sucking. Rome of India Zulu, I'm still pushing on the UI removal option. The big issue with the UI removal option that I remember is that trying to figure out what button to add it to map it to, because we're using them all. Dalton Young, I don't have an announcement on when the 10th anniversary pack will be available on console again, but it comes around pretty regularly. Merkstar, you want more of Mirror Wesley's backstory? You got it, bud. What's the possibility of being able to change our red alert tone? I don't know. I've never really had that question before. Is that something a lot of people want? Oliver Roger, I have brought the character artists on this stream many times. When are we getting a Gears cover system with phaser chainsaws? I believe Jesse actually developed a cover system for this game once, but it just broke too many other things. Any plans in the works for new patrols? Yes. Will we ever see the city on the edge of never return? Yes, that's what I was talking about earlier about remastering old missions. Did Mirror Wesley also end up on a weird sex planet where he was almost killed for stepping on the grass? Oh no, you've discovered Mirror Wesley's origin story. That's what turned him to evil. That's not true. Lego Man, God of Legos. I imagine the monuments to Spock on New Romulus and Vulcan did take a few days to make. Yes. Can the free tier 6 ship tokens from MUDs be modified in the future to be tradable? I know we were definitely thinking about, we definitely had them set up as gifts at one point. So I don't know why we stopped that, honestly. It's something that I think a lot of people do want. How did the new Empire become so big so fast? The Terran Empire? I think they were always huge. Will the Platinum Vanity Shield ever be available again? I will ask about that. That certainly seems like something we could make available. I still don't quite understand. Someone asked if they could airlock Wesley. I really don't understand this whole obsession that Trek fans have of, like, this character's annoying, so I want to make jokes about killing them. Like, it's just weird, y'all. And it's always so specific. Like, you have ways you've thought about killing this character you don't like. I'm like, therapy. Therapy's a real thing. No, Stephen G. No announcement on a Kittimer or on a Kittimer Alliance bundle right now. Maybe in the future. Someone on YouTube said it's not a joke. Wesley's useless. You know when Picard told Wesley to shut up, Wesley was right? Does anybody remember that? It's been this meme for like years, and in the episode, Picard should have listened to Wesley. Wesley was right. The whole point of that part was that Picard was wrong to tell him to shut up. Yeah, this Wesley is a genocidal dictator. He's kind of a jerk. But, you know, Star Trek is also not about murder. Kalisha Anderson, I believe that a space trait didn't get included in the buffs, in the buff upgrades, because it would allow you to stack too many space traits on your character. So have you guys ever heard, I've talked about this on stream before, some people in chat are saying, he said it's not about murder while he's blowing things up. I read a theory once about the difference and the cognitive dissonance between what happens in a video game and what realistically could actually be happening in the story. You know, Nathan Drake, over the course of any one Uncharted game, probably kills like 200 people. It's a lot. And honestly, like, the story doesn't grapple with that in any way. Nathan doesn't have PTSD for murdering 200 people because he's in an action movie, and the writers know that. It's the same thing with video games. You just kind of have to accept that there's some stuff in here that, were this a Star Trek TV show, would not be the case. Regina Mills, no update on Borg outfits right now. I'll try to get more updates on that, but I don't think we have any plans for any. Also, these people that I'm blowing up right now, I am fighting in self-defense. They are invading the planet. It's a little different than, you know, defeating Mirror Wesley and then throwing him out an airlock. Just saying. Stanky Boy says, in reality, we're still in the Starter Miranda and we blown up maybe 6 ships. I think that's more accurate. How many more episodes are planned for the Mirror story arc? I believe there are 2 more updates to go. Maybe 1. So that would be anywhere from 1 to 4 episodes. Sorry, I wish I could be more specific than that. I don't have the info in front of me right now. Orion Star, I think that's how you pronounce that. Yes, absolutely you can fill out a bug report without having to log into game. Just post it on the forums. That stuff gets read.
the system. The remaining Herald ships are rallying around the Dreadnought.
Will the Castle TFO return this Halloween? Yes. Jennifer Mason, you did not follow my very simple request for you, but I will answer this question because it's a more answerable one. Terran, Cryptic Studios has a lot of data from over the years about how I'm not even going to get here before they're blown up. I've got nothing to shoot. Oh, I've got those guys to shoot at. Okay, cool. Sorry. A Terran Empire faction would just be playing genocidal, bigoted Nazi villains. Let's be real. They're the space Naziest space Nazis. And yes, a lot of players over the years say, oh, we want to play villains. Let us play villains. But reactions and data that we have say otherwise. People don't really like playing villains as much as they say they do. It's not worth the effort we would put into it just to get nothing back. And get not a lot of people wanting to do it. And people complaining that they're being forced to be, a space Nazi. Stanky boy, we can't allow you to marry Kumarke. I'm sorry. She belongs to the universe. Neo Saturn, you can make a Section 31 special agent captain right now. You can put him in the Section 31 uniform. You can write your backstory about being Section 31. I mean, my Klingon character is a space pirate. Robert Craig, we don't have any announcements about the Titan from Picard right now. Oh god, this will be over in 10 seconds. Okay. Ghost, please post that in the forums. Clemino Calvire, I hope I didn't butcher that up too much. I would love to put actual game dev resources behind the Date Your Starship thing. That was my favorite April Fool's joke I've ever done on this game. Kalisha Anderson, we discussed nerfs and buffs and stuff like that at the beginning of the stream. So please go and check that out either on the VOD or I think someone probably made a clip of it. Okay, so no plans have ever been discussed about this. But I'm just curious what the reaction would be. Nobody is thinking about this except for me in this moment. Let me be very clear. Absolutely nobody's thinking about it. But I'm curious. What would be the reaction if we were to ever take Infected Space? This is Infected Space, right? And do and remake it to be more difficult. Again, no one has ever discussed this. I'm just curious myself. Okay. Well, I'll mention that to people. Again, literally no one has ever talked about that except for me in this moment. The idea just occurred to me and I wanted to ask the question, but... Yeah, I do want to give you guys the test map. I might push for that some more again. I know the big software hurdle is to make it so that people can't use it for farming. Which we should be able to do. John Davis, I want you to post about it on the forums. And on that subject, so the Nerf bat thing, I know a lot of people were upset about it. A lot of people chose to specifically tag Jeremy on Twitter and really just kind of be jerks to him. So, as I always say, please do remember that the people you're talking to are human beings. Whether something is a mistake or not, whether it's a intended decision or not, don't call them names, don't be jerks to them. Just be good people. Talk politely, express your frustrations, sure, but... And also think about if, you know, am I the first person to post this, or am I the 30th person to post this? Or am I the 300th person to post this? I knew you were kidding, John Davis. You just gave me a good opportunity to talk about it. Ancient Mariner, I use the forums on Crove, and I have no problem. All right. Ryukin OD, I have several times reminded production to bring Hearts and Minds back. I will do so again. Super Bowser RPG, yes, absolutely. You can play STO on Steam with just a Steam account. Irish Hawk 26, I don't have anything to tell you about the Romulan uniform from Strange New Worlds. Again, remember, we generally see things when you do. Sometimes we get some stuff in advance, but something like that probably wouldn't get shown to us. And uniforms, because our character artists are so busy, often don't happen on a very quick time scale. Jennifer Mason on YouTube wants to make sure that we know that STO should be giving customer service back, even as we're asking for people to be civil and polite, which, you know, is literally what we're doing right now. And so I once again restate my challenge to you, Jennifer Mason, to post anything positive. Anything at all. I'm calling you out specifically because your posts this stream have been very indicative of a specific type of way to talk about the game that's somewhat entitled. I'm not going to lie. I feel like you're going to ask me to speak to my manager. Whoa, I got thrown through the asteroid. That's true, Tim Sonneborn. I am the manager. Habination, the first rule of customer service is not the customer is always right. That is a mistake that somebody made once upon a time. The first rule of customer service is to make sure that everybody involved with the situation retains the same level of happy, healthy mental health they had when you started. Oh my god, disable it. David Staggs, I haven't ignored you specifically. There's a lot of stuff going by. I've got 3 different chats that I'm monitoring. Feel free to repeat your question. David York, says he's looking to buy some new ships in the game. We have many fine and sundry ships, sure. Perhaps you could. I think there's some of your fellow people in chat would be interested in giving you some recommendations. Kane W. Baker, did you reach out to support.artgames.com about that issue? It sounds like the kind of thing they could help with. That's why I didn't answer your question, David Staggs. No, there's no plans for a TMP bridge pack. If there was one, I would tell you. I would announce it, but... Kane W. Baker, if it's only been hours, that makes sense. The customer service team is very busy. Hang tight, so they will get back to you, and they will figure out what happened. I'm guessing since you all play on the same, you said they all play on the same computer or the same account, it probably looks like botting to their automated botting detection things. But that's something that's fixable. Raid 86, I don't believe the veteran ships are fairly high on that list. It could be fun to do one, but... Rob O'Brien, thank you. Appreciate the shout out and the friendly words. Although I'm not sure I appreciate you locking me in for Repente. Can we get a chance to get the Grand Nagus ship? I have advocated for that a few times as a free giveaway. I think the only way that ship could ever go out anywhere is a free giveaway. Otherwise, the riots that would be had would be riotous. But we're understandably a little gun-shy about that ship. It's legendary how angry people were about the ship. And so... I think I've asked the question before, and you guys have responded positively. I just want, is that something... If it was a free giveaway, would people be mad? People specifically who owned the ship, I guess? Would it dredge up old bad memories? Or would it just be a cool thing? Casey Johnson, I cannot possibly say the words Romulans are best when Klingons are out here, clearly being the best. I would guess that not a lot of people actively fly that ship. From what I've heard, and there's some people in chat who can tell me, it is a magnet for negativity. When you post when you fly around in that ship, people start messaging you nasty things because of all the bad memories about the ships. VDev, there aren't that many invisible walls in the environments of STO. I think if you're referring to the new mission, that was a bug that we've recently fixed. What's my favorite TFO? Huh. Maybe Starbase 1? Starbase 1 is a lot of fun. Matthew Prime, I also don't know what the threshold was to get the Nagus Marauder. And even if I did know, I couldn't tell you. It would be too dangerous. VDev, I'm not sure what you're talking about the invisible walls on Earth Space Dock or Deep Space Nine. I've ran through those areas pretty freely a lot of times. Do you have specific locations you're talking about? Casey Johnson, I don't know what I'm agreeing to if I say that. But do I have the Nagus Marauder? No. One of my first weeks on the job, I did find a pack of Nagus Marauder codes in storage, and I was way too scared to use it. Those of you who remember my predecessor, Morgan, Laughing Trendy, one of her final pieces of advice to me was just, don't ever talk about that ship. Don't ever do anything with that ship. Never again. Of course, I'm breaking that rule, but... The ESD shuttle bay is walled off by nothing? You can walk into the shuttle bay. Just go down the stairs. Quark's bar. Do you mean you can't just jump through the window instead of going through the door? Yeah, that's a wall we put in there because we wanted people to go through the door. The railings you can definitely jump over. I've done that before. John Davis 01, the short version of the story on the Grand Nagus ship is that there was... some people got the ship. They got a mysterious email with no notes for the... no explanation why, that said, here's some fun stuff, including this ship that you and only this select group of people get. And then they started showing up in game, and people were like, where did you get that? And they were like, well, I got a special package because I'm a special. And then it just devolved from there, because a lot of people were like, well, why aren't I special? Justifiably, I would say. Dominic James Precia, yes, absolutely. I would love for us to have more merch to represent the game as well. Kalisha Anderson, I don't know the answer to that question. I would have to ask a systems designer. And I wonder we'll have a systems stream soon. Casey Johnson, I don't know what I'm agreeing to if I say that. I can't just agree to things. Genghis Prawn, I'm really sorry. I don't know what your acronyms mean. I know, okay, Elite RFTO. I don't know what RFTO is. BZ is obviously Battlezone. Elite difficulty should be getting added to more TFOs. I think it's getting missed, to be honest. Which is unfortunate. And I need to remember to remind. There was a reason early on why we didn't do elite random TFOs. I believe it was something about not wanting to get stuck in a pug in an elite TFO. Um, I think that's probably still valid. Habitation, you should play. Come back. I don't know how long it's been, but the game is great. A lot of fun things have happened since the last time you played, and I know that for a fact. No matter how long it's been.
I am quite impressed with your fleet. The
Thanks,
Titans
Commander
were
Jirok.
abandoning their base.
I mean, honestly, it's not a terrible idea to make the Nagus available for a ridiculous amount of GPL, since I think a lot of you have a lot of GPL. Um, that's something I'll pass along. It's on theme. There's been casual SAB wanted to know if there's been any discussion on boosting elite TFO rewards to encourage people to play elite more. So not many people care about the extra crafting materials anymore. Not many people care about crafting anymore in general, and we really have to work on that. We got to do something about it, and we know we got to do something about it. But talks keep stalling about what and where that we can find the time. Hello, Kolath. You wanted to be on stream? Here you are. You're on stream. Why are you trying to be on top of me? No, that's weird. Go back to the cool pose we had when we were looking at each other. Zykodeth, I can certainly ask about putting more stuff from the Phoenix box in MUDs. I don't know how popular of a decision that would be. From the player standpoint, I mean. Yeah, Axel Hopfinger, exactly. The crafted stuff is not super useful. The crafting process is weird. There's lots of stuff that we got to figure out on that. All right. Actually, can someone? This is a silly noob question, but and in many ways I am still a silly noob. Um, this thing, Domino, I've seen so many people, and it's on my ship because it was recommended because it's so good, and I use it all the time because it's so good. I don't actually know why it's so good. So if you wanna tell me about it. Dr. Nickett, I will mention that. Thank you. It's not a nerf trap. I'm not going to mention it to people, and I don't think Domino has ever been a target for hope. Nope. Okay, it's just that it does weapon haste, and weapon haste is really good. Nice. Oh, I didn't know it had an inherent phaser buff. Me putting phasers on this ship was good then. All right. Hello, scary-looking Ferengi ship. All right. Some of y'all are hilarious, but it has been an hour, and everybody in my house has COVID except for me, so I got to make sure I can tag my wife out on um, hanging out with my super energetic despite having COVID daughter. So I am going to look for someone for us to raid. Dr. Nickett, if you're talking about the kitty that I did the GoFundMe for, unfortunately he passed away a few months later. Um, but the rest of his family is doing well. The other 4 cats that I have. Okay, who are we going for here? I'm just gonna look at this stream and see.
Omen 16.
No, I don't think this is what we want. Alright, this guy's only got 1 viewer. Let's do it. Let's change his world. Alright. Well, folks, thank you so much for um, tuning in and all of your questions and comments and all just being so wonderful. And I will see you all next week. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.